Dragon God is the next boss up to be graded on our Soulsborne tier list. We're going through every game that FromSoftware has made from Demon Souls to Elden Ring to see which bosses end up in the greatest of all time. We'll be judging different aspects of the Dragon God, including gameplay, lore, and overall presentation. By the end of the video, we'll decide whether the Dragon God truly deserves its divine title or if he's actually trash. So this behemoth of a dragon is the end boss in the Stonefang Tunnel. The last boss of each area is called an archdemon and typically rewards you with a powerful soul as well as unlocking the way to King Allant, the final boss. From the Flame Lurker's boss room, you head deeper into the demonic-looking gateway. Eventually, you are greeted by a massive dragon and are tasked with figuring out how to take it down. Presentation is amazing, but that's sadly about as good as it gets when it comes to the rest of the encounter. The fight is designed more as a stealth puzzle, where the punishment for being spotted is getting obliterated in one shot by Dragon God's giant fist. There's no real counterplay to this once he's spotted you. You can try and run or hide, but I've always struggled figuring out where exactly he's targeting. The goal is to hide in specific areas, then run out and smash the debris that is blocking your way. This isn't fully clear, however. Breaking stone debris hasn't really been a thing up to this point, so new players could be stuck here for a moment. Weapon choice comes into play here. A large weapon like a greatsword can make the debris clearing process much easier, putting players who prefer smaller weapons at a disadvantage. Ranged is a decent option as well, as long as you can find a safe place to stand in. Once the way is open, there are two ballista that you have to activate and fire large bolts to shoot into the luckily stationary dragon, weakening him and exposing his head to smack on it for a while. After giving his face many cuts and avoiding his fire breath, congratulations, you've beaten a god. The boss fight is designed to be a spectacle and a departure from the traditional combat encounters, but this design choice often comes at the cost of player satisfaction, especially when certain mechanics are a bit janky. Stealth elements feel out of place in a game focused on a methodical combat rather than sneaking around. This experience can make the Dragon God encounter feel more like a trial and error puzzle rather than a skill-based fight, which can be a bit underwhelming and anticlimactic. The title Dragon God suggests a battle of epic proportions, but in reality, it is more about environmental puzzles than a direct confrontation. For players good enough to beat the Vanguard in the tutorial level and were introduced to the Dragon God early on, they were most likely looking forward to a showdown with this epic creature, and they might feel disappointed. When it comes to lore, there's not much that is outright stated to us, but we can infer that the Dragon God was an immense and primordial being that has been around since ancient times. Its location suggests that he's been imprisoned here for a while and kept docile with the ballista bolts. Whether it's truly killed when we defeat it is up to speculation. The intro cinematic shows Dragon God bursting through the ground and is much more intense than in-game, suggesting that if this being was able to be freed and absorb more power, that would cause incredible destruction. The original song was a strange fit for this boss. The snare drum felt like something being played as you were led into your execution, and the bells in the background also emphasize that. It's a simple tune, whereas the remake is a bit more intense with sporadic rhythm and changes tone based on the portion of the fight you're in. Let's listen to both tracks back to back. For the rating. While I appreciate the game for varying the fights up and giving us different strategies to beat these bosses, which is a rarity in later iterations of FromSoft games, this boss frustrates me. If this mechanic was given to a different boss that wasn't something titled the Dragon God, then it might be fine, but getting one shot is never fun in my opinion. If you have a decent weapon to break the debris, you can beat this boss in under 2 minutes, making this fight completely underwhelming. I give Dragon God a D+. Where do you guys rank Dragon God? Am I completely off in my rating? Let me know in the comments and make sure to share with other Demon Souls fans. Like and subscribe to get more content, and I'll see you in the next video where we finally head into the Swamp Zone and fight Leechmonger.